Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Curious Ear podcast. Today is our first episode, and we'll be talking about mindfulness, mental health, and meditation. We'll be diving into the world of mindfulness, meditation, and personal growth, discussing techniques for managing stress, improving mental health, and finding balance in today's fast-paced world. We'll be sharing personal stories and providing practical tips. Today, we're joined with guests Rebecca, Anthony, Tatiana, and PJ.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Strong. I am the Director of Development for the AIDS Task Force of Greater Cleveland. I've been here 13 years. I'm 44, and I have 3 kids who are ages 19, 15, and 11.
All right, so my name is Tatiana Marie Burks. I am the Patient Care Specialist for the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. I have been here for a little over a year and a half. I am 35 years old, and I have been practicing yoga for 11 years.
So my name is Prince Lonell Johnson, so many names. I am a SNAP coordinator here. I've been working here for 2.5 years. Very happily, love my job. I work a lot hands-on with the community. I've seen and dealt with mental health up front first for about 30 years. I'm also 30 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay, good morning. Well, hello. My name is Anthony Forbes. I am Associate Executive Director of the Task Force of Greater Cleveland. I'm not going to tell my age, but I have been here over about a year now. But I am what is considered a boomerang employee, so I was with the agency at one point for a couple of years, and then I came back. So I just love this work. So thank you.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So as I said, we're going to dive into mindfulness, mental health, and meditation. So just to start the conversation off, how can mindful practices help you guys within your individual days with stress and anxiety?
So I would say mindfulness can help just to be aware of your mental health. We're all aware of like our blood pressure when it gets elevated. We notice when the scale goes up, but a lot of times we don't think about how our mental health affects our day-to-day life. So being mindful just means doing a self-check every day. How am I feeling? How is this impacting me? Am I okay? Do I need a break?
Yeah. I agree. I definitely also think that people need to also be understanding that it's okay not to be okay. I think that's a big thing.
I was just going to add, not taking ourselves too seriously or so seriously.
Right.
It's life, and yeah, it can throw curveballs on its own, but trying to hold on so tight to things, it's not helpful.
Yeah.
So.
I agree.
Being able to just take a deep breath and realize, is this as serious as
Right.
I am making it out to be?
Right.
And to be able to check yourself that way.
I think that's very important.
I think I've kind of learned more so for me, I have to wake up and remind myself that it's okay to have a good day today.
Yeah.
I have to tell myself, like, I don't have, every day, like she said, is it this serious? Every day I don't have to be upset.
Yeah.
Every day I don't have to feel down or depressed. I wake up and remind myself, hey, put on some Shaka Khan, brush my teeth, ain't gonna let nobody hold me down.
Right.
I'm loving me, speak affirmations to myself. And that's kind of how I deal with my mental, that's how I kind of start my day off, to start my mental health too.
It's a good day to have a good day.
Good day to have a good day.
That's
Absolutely.
important. That's
I love
really
that,
important. Yeah.
And I was just going to say that, I just always kind of remember there's always tomorrow.
Yes.
And so although I'm in today and today may be hectic, but you know what? It's a good day because I'm alive.
Yeah.
And there's always tomorrow to look forward
I agree.
to.
Also, another big thing that I learned was that try to find something every day to do that makes you happy. And you just have something to look forward to at the end of the day, or even if it's in the morning. So I think that's really important. And Tatiana, you said that you're a yoga instructor. Want to tell us a little bit about how that's helped you?
Yeah, so when I first started my yoga journey, it was just all about me.
Yeah.
And it was, I would say, 2 to 3 years in before I began to realize, if everybody was more mindful, if everybody became more conscious about how they live and how they interact with themselves and the world around them, the world would be a greater place.
Yeah, totally.
And so I started off with just teaching my family some of the things that I learned, and then I realized that you think people know about mental health. You think people know about mindfulness and meditation and how useful it is, but they don't.
Yeah.
And so that's why I just kind of made my goal to share my lifestyle and what I've learned with everybody I encounter, because I want to see changes in my community and just in the people around me. And I realized that we kind of, as a community, got away from stressing the importance of mental health.
Yeah.
We live in such a fast-paced society. And then there's so many stigmas also around mental health, and people look at it as a sign of weakness. And it's just, really, it's a sign of humanness.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's aware of this or if anybody else is aware of this, but Tatiana was the impetus for and inspiration behind my own yoga journey.
Oh,
So
that's
she's
awesome.
who inspired me, and I
Yeah.
will never forget. She was like, "You don't have to be perfect." She's like, "It's a practice," and I was like,
Totally.
And it totally clicked in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
That's good.
But yeah, I owe it to this wonderful
Yeah.
woman who, she's the one who inspired me, and now I can't stop doing yoga.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what's been helpful to me.
Yeah,
so.
that's awesome. I feel like
It's so great.
Yeah.
It's really great.
you gotta implement those things in your life. When did you start?
Probably like a year ago, because
Yeah.
we were doing exercise classes here, so I taught a couple of yoga
I remember
classes.
that, actually.
Yeah, year and a half ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that. So do you think that helps like with your work-life balance? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. For me, definitely, because I've worked in healthcare since
Yeah.
2008. Worked in nursing homes, hospital systems, in the home,
God bless
and
you.
so
I know,
it's
thank
challenging
you.
because you take your work home. I mean, how can you not worry about the person who doesn't have food to eat?
Yeah.
How can you not worry about the person that you know someone's not taking care of them properly, and when you're not there, who is? So. And just the stress of just being in those type of environments.
Yeah.
So for me, it definitely helped me to kind of pull away and realize I cannot save the world.
Right. Right.
But also it helped me realize how to make a difference when I can make a difference.
Yeah.
And so now that's what I do. If I can make a difference, I try. And when I realize I can't, I'm like, all right, it's not my problem.
Take a step back. Yeah. That's a good.
So I heard her say she takes work home with her sometimes. Some work unfortunately follows me everywhere I go.
Okay.
I always make a joke with another coworker of mine. I wish she could be here. I would say, I'm the face of HF. And unfortunately, the people in the community have taken that PJ's the face of HF.
Right.
So whenever there's a problem, if I go to a basketball game, if I'm out at the bar hanging out with my husband and friends, or
Yeah.
we're just shopping in the local Walmart, so a person will walk up to me like, hey, PJ, can you help me with this?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During my downtime at work, so it's like I'm not at work, but I'm at work.
Yeah.
So work never leaves me.
Yeah.
I've actually just learned to let them talk, hear them out. If it's not a 911 emergency, I've learned to let it stay at work until I get back to work.
Okay.
It looks like it may to some may be like, oh, he heard me, but he didn't hear me.
Right.
But I always refer them like I'll reach out to you on Monday as soon as I'm back in the
Yeah.
office.
That's-
You know,
yeah.
it's the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
I'm like Tatiana. It'll weigh on me. I'll be
Yeah.
at home like, man, he said he didn't have any food in there. So what I'll try to do, I'll drop off some breakfast in the morning, and then on Saturday I'll take some lunch. And it's just like,
Right.
yeah, it's kind of like it's not okay for me to go. I'll go above and beyond, but I can't do everything for everybody. I'm not
Yeah.
Kryptonian, so
Yeah,
I have to remind myself that.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to be on 24/7.
Absolutely.
And that's something that I think people need to keep in mind.
I think again, there's always tomorrow.
It's always tomorrow.
Yes.
But when I'm at work, I'm working hard.
Yeah.
And I am doing this thing very hard and trying to do it well. But I know that when I check out or when it's time to go home, that I need to have that work-home balance. And
Yeah.
I need to kind of prioritize home at that point.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that I'm giving as much as I'm giving that I gave at work as I'm giving at home.
Right.
So when 5 o'clock comes, I'm kind of out.
Yeah.
I try to mentally check out.
Yeah.
But just try to make sure that home and work are
separated.
separated. Yes, ma'am.
But do you guys have any tips for anybody that might be struggling with work-life balance or meditation in general, mental health that you want to share?
Work-life balance, people. Work is at work.
Yeah.
Like Anthony said, separate it when you get home as best as you can. Try and relax and recuperate yourself.
Yeah.
I'll tell a short story.
Yeah, go for it.
So I was walking past. I'm very big on smells in my house, fragrances. I was walking past, and my Febreze little plug-in was not working. I'm like, this thing is. It's like I don't smell anything. So I got up on it, and it was completely empty. There's nothing in it.
Yeah.
It made no sound. It never beeped. It didn't tell me it was empty.
Yeah.
But I kept it plugged in, so the fan was still running.
Right.
So I had to change it out and put a fresh one in, and then I got a smell. Well, what am I saying in my story? Sometimes we be plugged in, and our inner fans will keep running, but what's inside of us mentally will be on completely empty.
Yeah.
And nobody will stop and check the plug and say, you're on empty. Let me fill you back up, because we don't make a noise.
Right.
We just keep going, the fan.
Yeah.
So once we change out ourselves, once we refill ourselves, get back to a good place, then we can release what we have inside of us that's the good for the people.
Yeah.
So I urge anybody, when you feel yourself running on low, empty, you don't have to make a sound. Just go refill, and then come back and give the people the good that you have for them.
Yeah, because you're not going to be making an impact or difference if you got nothing left in you.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really important.
And I would say, just for anyone that is trying to incorporate mindfulness or meditation into their lives, there is no one way to meditate.
Absolutely.
Some people, they need some quietness. Some people like to listen to music. Some people use visualizations, like maybe you're imagining some colors or you got a picture of the beach. There's no one way, you know what I mean? And again, it is a practice. So if you're starting out and you're like, I can't figure out how to clear my mind, that's okay. Just give it a try for 2 or 3 minutes. And then if you continue it, you'll find it easier. And you'll also figure out what works for you and what doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
My advice, go to therapy.
It is necessary.
Yes, and I feel like there's such a bad stigma around that. Like, you're going to show you're weak. You're not, like, you have to be too vulnerable. But I feel like it's so important to be open and honest with yourself and with others.
And that was the other part of it. Being able to be honest enough with yourself that things are not going well for me.
Yeah.
And to be able to say that out loud is really important. And you need to have somebody to talk to. Otherwise, you're going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
And that doesn't do anybody, that doesn't do you any good, that doesn't do the people in your life any good, that doesn't do work any good. So just being able to say, this is not okay.
Yeah.
And having somebody to talk to. So going to therapy and listening to your therapist and doing the work. And yes, it's hard, but you know what? We can all do hard things.
Yes, we can.
So
I totally agree with that.
And I think, I don't know if I should say this, but one of the things that I do to kind of wind down is that I will get on the freeway and I will just drive.
I'll never forget your story.
And I just drive and I listen to the music, and sometimes I drive fast. And one time I was just driving, kind of decompressing, and I was doing like maybe 90 on the freeway, and the police stopped me. And I was just telling them, I was like, I was a hard day, just trying to relax, and, I hadn't opened up my car in a while.
Yeah.
And so what he did give me a citation.
I'm sure of it.
And, but what he did, and I think he did it deliberately, he said that I was going 25 in a 60-mile freeway. And so when I got to court, because I had to go to court, I told the judge, I said, well, how can somebody be doing 25 on the freeway?
Yeah.
And the judge, he was like, well, I guess you can. But it was just, the judge was like, no, this isn't right. And he threw it out. But I kind of learned my lesson that, slow down.
Yeah.
But I also I still drive before I go home, just to kind of decompress, just to kind of relax.
Yeah.
So that's what I do to kind of do that. And just like Rebecca was saying, have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
I do have someone that I just kind of purge all of that information out for the day, and then it just kind of relaxes me, and then I can kind of go on and do my stuff at home.
Yeah, it's also important to surround yourself with people that make you feel good about yourself and that you can support you. As we wrap up today, what are some key takeaways that we've taken away from this episode?
I think I want to start doing yoga.
Okay. What I got from this is that we all have mental health issues, and again, I think it's just so important to break that stigma because we don't talk about it, and that's why I think conversations like these are important so that people can see people that look like themselves and realize that like this is a human thing.
Right.
It's not a poverty thing. It's not a situational thing. It's not a if you went through this and that. Like it's just a human thing to struggle with your mental health or to have mental health issues, but that also we get through it by talking to each other, by helping each other, by working with each other. So it takes a group effort to heal.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.